Well, it all began with me feeling tired. I didn't have a lot of drive. Um, I found myself wanting to take naps. Especially after work. After I work 8 hours, I want to go home and just lay down to kind of get a second wind for the second part of my day. I have a couple of kids, and um, I do a lot of cooking and cleaning, which I love to do in the household. So after I get off work, so I work from 6:30 to 3, Monday through Friday. When I get off of work, I would find myself going home, sitting on the couch, and just dozing off to sleep. Sometimes sleeping till 5 or 5:30, just to have enough energy to kind of go through the second part of the day. For me. Um, on top of that, I'm 49 years old. My sex drive is not where it used to be. Um, and so I started thinking, well, what about my testosterone levels? I hear a lot of commercials. I've read things that talk about, how testosterone starts falling off as men get older. And I just didn't feel like I was 25 anymore. So with that, I also didn't have a whole lot of drive. Not like it used to be where you'd be sitting around the house and just constantly trying to find something to do, or I'd find myself sitting on the couch, be perfectly fine, like a couch potato, sitting there watching television with the remote control, and not necessarily feeling bad about not getting up, because I just didn't have the want, to do anything. And I one day I just kind of asked myself, I said, what is this normal? Should I be feeling this way? So I started doing some research on how men feel with low testosterone, and everything that I was feeling was kind of pointing towards, having low T values. And so I decided to do something about it. This was probably about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. So there's a lot of commercials on the radio. I see them on television about low testosterone and low testosterone therapies. There's a lot of clinics out there that kind of walk in and get testosterone therapy, whether it be through shots or implants or pills. They advertise on TV. There's these pills that you can buy, and it's supposed to do all this great stuff. And so I decided that I would go to a low T place for testosterone therapy. And when I called my insurance company, they were like, yeah, we don't really cover that. And so I thought, well, okay, let me just give it a shot, out of pocket. So it ended up being quite expensive. I think I paid a couple $100 for the office visit. So I go in, meet this guy that wasn't even a doctor, and he even openly said, I'm not a doctor, but we do testosterone therapies, and what we're going to do today is pull your blood, and we're going to run a 15-minute test to see where your testosterone levels are, and then we'll figure out a treatment for you after that. I said, okay. So they do so, and comes back into the room about 20 minutes later. He's like, yeah, you're definitely low. You're down in the 300s or 310, 320 range. Most men, in their early 20s are pushing 800 to 1,000, something like that. So it's substantially lower. And I thought, yeah, let's do this. And at the time, I was like, it doesn't matter what it costs, because I'm just really tired of sitting on the couch and having no drive to even cut the grass anymore. My car, I used to always wash it, and now it sits there dirty because I don't want to get out there and do it. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll pay whatever. And so after the $200 for the office visit, the test and the blood draw, there was like another $200 for the implants. And I chose implants because there were 3 types of therapies that they offered. And again, this is therapy. It's not really yourself producing anything. So they offered shots, and they offered pills, and they offered implants. I chose the implants because it was explained to me that you're taking pills, and when the pills start to wear off, then you feel the slump of testosterone. Because I wasn't really producing it myself, it was an artificial substance that I'm putting in, so my body says I don't need to produce testosterone because it's there. But when it wears off, then you start going down with it. The same thing with the shots. The shots are like once a month. Um, Day 20, day 22, you'll start to feel the decrease. And by day 30, you're kind of back to where you were, feeling like you were before on the couch. The pellets or the beads, the implants, were a little bit more consistent because they would be implanted and they would slowly dissolve and rise up and then kind of keep a level playing field for about 6 months until they start to fall off. And for me, it was like right at 5.5 months and I started feeling it. It's like, okay, this is going down. I didn't like the way that the pellets were implanted in me. So I decided I wasn't going to do that again. One of the things that they did there at this low T center place, was they made an incision in my buttocks, my rear end. First they deadened it, then they made an incision. They spread the incision open with a pair of cryos or type of surgical device, and then they push these pellets like into your fatty part of your rear end, and I could just feel them pushing. There's a lot of pressure, but there's no pain because I was deadened. After 4 or 5 hours after the medication wore off, of deadening it, it just became very painful. Like I couldn't even really sit on my right side. I'm sitting in the car, kind of sitting on my left side because my right side is really hurting and burning. And then within a couple of days, I get out of the shower and I look in the mirror and I have this spot, literally like this big, nothing but bruised all the way down my right buttocks area. And I thought, man, that just looks horrible. I took pictures of it, and just what I did to my body. It's like I feel good. I feel great, but I don't want to ever do that again. The testosterone treatments made me feel really good. Made me feel like I was 25 again. But the downfall to it is that I knew it was going to go away, and I knew that I was going to have to relive this experience. So at the end of the 6-month period, 5.5 months into it, it started to decrease. I was kind of at a crossroads. Do I do this again? Do I go through this again? And I decided I would just kind of rather feel a little bit lazy than to go through those implants again. So I chose to not do so.